Oh, baby. We're almost to Sunday. We're almost there. 3:30, Levi's, Niners, Cowboys. Cannot wait. But in the meantime, we got Warriors and Celtics and Warriors and Cavs in back-to-back days. Going to take our minds off the game for a couple hours. Parquet floor, 4:30 p.m. You can listen to it live right here on 95.7 The Game. Of course, I'll be over to NBC for Warriors Live starting at 3:30. D. Wright's back today. Darrell Wright will be back in the building with Body Pool. Should be a lot of fun as the Warriors go back to Boston for the first time since Game 6 where they popped champagne and won their fourth championship in 8 years. By the way, shout out to YouTube, the Xfinity Mobile, text line, Twitch, and good morning to everybody out there. Bakers, everybody at Boudin's baking that bread overnight. Donuts, 24-hour donut shops. Baby mamas, baby daddies, strippers, CHP, cops, teachers, students. SI girls basketball team beating Rittern last night. Shout out to them.
Yeah,
good morning to everybody at SI. They're feeling good this morning. And good morning to Drew Pearson, the NFL Hall of Famer. One of the greatest players in Cowboys history. And Espino, do you have that? Do you have that draft sound? Oh, we'll play it a little later. We know Drew Pearson is known for that. You have it?
I want to thank the Eagle fans for allowing me to have a career in the NFL. Thank you. I am honored as an undrafted free agent to be selected to make the Cowboys second-round draft pick. And on behalf of the five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Jerry Jones, Dean Jones and the Jones family, Coach Jason Garrett, all the Cowboy players that played before me, that played with me, and played after me, with the second pick and the 60th pick in the second round, the Dallas Cowboys select defensive back from Colorado, Chidobe Awuzie.
That's an all-timer. We love it. We love the passion. We love the intensity. He was a three-time first-team All-Pro, a Super Bowl champion, a three-time Pro Bowler. Drew Pearson back on the Morning Roast, courtesy of the Bud Light Guest Line. All guests appear on the Bud Light Guest Line. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Drew, how you doing these days?
I'm doing great. Every time I hear that, I get a little more fired up. You know?
What about Niners Cowboys?
It's amazing, guys. The guy that never got drafted, to sign as an undrafted free agent, now is known for the draft. Draft day speech. That's pretty ironic.
No, it's pretty legendary there. And Philadelphia fans, we got to hear about them. They're annoying. We all know that. But, Drew, when you see the Niners and Cowboys matched up in the playoffs, we talked to you last year about the matchup. Niners go down to Texas, to Jerry's World, and beat the Cowboys in the wild card round. What did you think this time around when the Cowboys ended up beating up the Buccaneers, knowing that a West Coast trip was happening back to the Bay Area?
Yeah, I think the Cowboys will be a little better prepared to meet the intensity level that they know San Francisco is going to bring in this playoff game, especially at home. Last year when San Francisco came to visit us and we played them and we started that game, we weren't ready to play. San Francisco took it to us, punched us in the mouth, kicked us all over the field, and we just took it, couldn't do anything for a whole half of a football game. And then finally woke up later in the third quarter and then had some success in the fourth quarter and almost was able to pull the game out. But we got to start and meet that intensity level that San Francisco is going to bring. And we know that's their MO this year. They are a physical football team, and they're going to bring that, and we got to be ready for that.
Drew, you're an undrafted guy that ended up, having just a remarkable career, just a remarkable career. So I'm sure that you can have some interesting perspective on what we're seeing with Brock Purdy right now. I heard Pete Carroll reference him as Fran Tarkenton. Now, I didn't get a chance to see Fran Tarkenton live, but I've seen all the old school highlights and the way he ran around at his size to do what he did. I mean, he was really a step forward in the evolutionary chain to what you see today from these quarterbacks. What do you make of the Brock Purdy story thus far?
I never thought of that, but that is a great comparison, Purdy to Fran Tarkenton, because their style of play is pretty similar. Back in the day when we played those Vikings, we didn't know, Fran Tarkenton was the guy that caused the most problems for our defensive pass rush. Harvey Martin and Too Tall and Randy White and those guys, simply because he would not stay in the pocket. He didn't know where he would end up on a particular pass play. And Purdy has that same kind of quality. He has the ability to move around, and he's going to cause some havoc as far as being able to find him and put some pressure on him because of that ability to move around. But it's a tremendous story, you know, and that's what the NFL is all about. You know, you got guys coming in here, you know, the first-round pick, the ones that everybody expects to do this or that and have success in the NFL. Yeah, and that happens in a lot of cases. But the real stories are the guys like Purdy, the guys like Drew Pearson that come in, and nobody expects you to do anything. And then you get an opportunity, and unfortunately you get the opportunity because the injuries of the people ahead of you. But you get that opportunity, then you take advantage of that opportunity, and you turn it into something, and that's what Purdy's doing. And that's what Drew Pearson was able to do, you know, back in the day. I was a third-string receiver as a rookie coming in. Two guys ahead of me got hurt in consecutive weekends. And then no one's left but me, you know, so I had to be the one. But that was my opportunity, and I stepped up and was able to make some plays, even in playoff situations. So Purdy's taking advantage of his opportunity. The 49ers are using him in the right way to take advantage of his abilities, and that makes him what he is.
Hall of Famer Drew Pearson, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 12, of course, former Cowboy receiver, played his entire career with the Dallas Cowboys, and you once held the nickname Mr. Clutch. Mr. Clutch. And you were clutch. Who's the most clutch player on both teams this weekend when it comes down to the Niners and Cowboys?
The most clutch players?
Yeah, most clutch. Who you got?
Okay. Well, with Cowboys, it's got to be 88. You know, he's in the 88 club, so we got that's part of the identity of the 88.
Hey,
let me stop you right there, Drew, because Michael Irvin joined our station yesterday with Damon and Ratto, and he talked about that number 88. Here's what he had to say about CeeDee Lamb and that number 88. Take a listen to this, Drew.
I said he's the most talented 88 because I couldn't play inside. Ed didn't really play inside. You know, I don't even know they were playing inside when Drew was playing, but you know what I'm saying. CeeDee Lamb can play inside. He was the top slot guy this year in the NFL. So, you know what I mean? He go inside, he can play outside. That means he's a very talented guy. Now, also, though, those old 88s had a whole lot of flair. Eds with the X in them out, whole lot of flair. CeeDee doesn't have as much flair, but, boy, I say he has the most talent as all of them.
See, Drew, I can't go there. I disagree.
Can't
The playmaker was more talented, I believed, in
You?
CeeDee Lamb. You were more talented, and Dez had his moments. What you think about that soundbite from Michael Irvin?
Well, I think what he's talking about is raw talent, raw ability, the speed, the ability to create things after the catch, the ability to run the routes from the inside as the slot receiver outside, to be able to run the routes coming in motion, to be able to take a handoff and run with the football. I think that's what Michael's talking about. You know, the thing about the 88 club, you know, we all wore that number, the four of us, including CD now, but we were all a little different in our styles and what we brought.
Right.
When we wore that 88. And CD brings something different for sure. He reminds me more of Bob Hayes than anybody because the action kind of starts when he catches the football. And he has that speed and that knack to break away from defenders, take a hit. He's a lot tougher than he appears to be. He has the mental toughness edge that the 88 club always had. And so, yeah, we're really proud of what CD has done to this point.
You know, wearing that star, there's a lot of great expectation comes with it, especially from the quarterback position. Everybody lives in the shadow of Aikman and Roger Staubach because they got the rings, you know? And I look at Danny White, who was really good, but he was never able to get that Super Bowl, and it felt like it just hung over him forever. How big of a game is this for Dak Prescott in terms of his standing overall with the Cowboy fans?
It's a big game. It's the playoffs. He conquered one step of the way to the Super Bowl to get these people Cowboy fans a chance to start bragging again and having some hope throughout the playoffs. You had that awesome game against Tampa, you know, and but Tampa, you know, they're a team that only won 8 football games last season, you know.
Right.
So we did what we were supposed to do. So this test this week will be a little tougher, no doubt, for Dak going against the San Francisco defense. But that's how quarterbacks are measured in Dallas Cowboy football lore, by Super Bowls. That's the standard. Staubach won 2, Aikman won 3. Romo had a nice career with the Cowboys, but he didn't win any playoffs. He didn't win any Super Bowls, so he's not even in that category with those guys. Danny White took us to 3 straight NFC championship games, including one where we lost to the 49ers with that great catch from the late, great Dwight Clark. Yeah. But, you know, that's how – but he didn't – you know, Danny White didn't get us over the hump, but he doesn't get the credit that he deserves for taking us to 3 straight championship games. But, you know, this is the opportunity for Dak to do that, you know, to keep his legacy, take another step in his legacy, and that is to go out there and win another football game and hopefully get us into the NFC championship game. So this is a great opportunity. Coach Landry said, if you really want to make a name for yourself in the NFL, you have a good game when you go to New York and you play those teams on the East Coast in the media capital of the world. You have a good game there because everybody in the world will talk about that. But the other way is to have good games and consistency in the playoffs. So this is the opportunity for Dak to create another step in his legacy and try to continue to add to the legacy to one day be considered with Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach.
The Hall of Famer Drew Pearson here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Super Bowl champ, played his entire career with the Dallas Cowboys. He was known as Mr. Clutch. Mike McCarthy, as head coach, what is your impression of him so far this season, Drew?
You know, I think he's done a great job. You know, we started the season without our starting quarterback. You know, we had to play Cooper Rush. We weathered that storm, and we weathered some other situations throughout the course of the season. And, you know, we still won, 12 regular season games, second year in a row. You know, I mean, not many teams in the NFC had winning records. You look at the standings going into the playoffs. So what he's done is pretty good. I don't think he should be in a position where he's playing for his job. You know, of course, the standard of winning in Dallas is Super Bowls with Tom Landry and Jimmy Johnson. But you know, Mike McCarthy, you know, if we let him go, or if he's not there next season, who do we bring in? You know, is Kellen Moore ready for that kind of role as head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? I don't know. But Mike McCarthy, I think he's okay. I think he's doing what he needs to do. He's got the championship pedigree. And what he's got to do is make sure these guys are ready to play this week against the 49ers, because even he admitted last season in his post-game press conference that he didn't think his team was ready to start that football game. Yeah. He said he didn't see that in their eyes. Well, hey, don't let that happen again.
No doubt.
Make sure you guys are ready to step out there.
Hey, Drew, before you get on out of here,
eyes are bugging.
Before you get on out of here, I want to have a little fun with you. You know, I hated Jimmy Johnson's face when I saw him on the TV breaking my soul back in the early 90s.
Hated his hair.
And Michael Irvin, I mean, the guy, he'd get the first down, and with the white gloves and the white wristbands, he'd drop the ball. I mean, I couldn't stand him, Alvin Harper. Who was the 49er that you couldn't stand? Keep it real with me. Was it Montana?
Oh, man, you're putting me on the spot here. Probably Montana, because he's the one that hurt us, you know, in that championship game out there. But the guy I couldn't stand was Ronnie Lott. I mean, you know, I didn't care about Montana. I'm playing against Ronnie Lott, Carlton Williamson, and Eric Wright, and you know,
Eric Wright, Dwight Hicks,
and guys like that, man. That's who I was worried about. I'm not worried about Joe Montana. I let Harvey Martin and those guys take care of him. You know, but I was worried about Ronnie Lott because he was a rookie playing cornerback I believe, in that game, and we thought we could take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But Ronnie had nothing. He said, no, it ain't going to be like that. And he was one of the most physical cornerbacks that I played against, and I was glad when they moved him from cornerback to safety, later in his career.
I love that.
Because he wasn't beating up on me. But he would be the guy.
Yeah.
With all due respect, Ronnie Lott.
Me and B. Abante here, we were watching the football life of Joe Theisman, and I got to say, that's one of the best ones I've ever seen. Yeah. And the relationship between the two of you is just so cool. You're obviously one of my favorite characters in the history of the NFL because you really do lean into it. Like, you really do. Like, all of the fun of sports. And I love that you guys were talking about playing basketball and baseball and football all together in high school.
We had no idea.
I had no clue.
Yeah, no idea you guys played together.
But I do feel like this generation of athletes being specialized, we're missing that raw athleticism from some of the other sports. I don't know, man. I just wanted to tell you I appreciated that episode a lot, and I learned a lot about you guys.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Joey and I, we still get along. He was a senior when I was a sophomore, but, we had a great team that year, and I was the only sophomore on the team. Started at wide receiver and then safety on defense, and this was an honor to play with Joe. The first touchdown pass I caught in high school was a 60-yard touchdown pass. Wow. From Joe Theisman back in South River, Theisman. And I caught that pass standing in the end zone from Joey Theisman. We still, during our careers, we didn't stay in touch too much because he was a Washington Redskins.
Yeah, we know.
Cowboy. I couldn't let my teammates know I was a buddy of Joe Theisman, and they're trying to knock his head off. So anyway, we didn't stay in touch. But now in our lives after football, we appreciate what we brought to our careers and helped each other along the way. And it's important for us to stay connected as friends as we deal with our lives after football.
No doubt. Drew, you're one of the solid ones. Yes. Like Shasky said, the football life was amazing. You at the draft in Philadelphia telling the Eagle fans how they helped you get to the Hall of Fame, helped you win to the Super Bowl. You're one of the great characters in the NFL, and Sunday should be a lot of fun. Cowboys, Niners, 3:30. We cannot wait for that game to kick off. Drew, thanks so much for the time, man. We'll do it again soon.
Anytime, guys. I'm here. Call my name. I'll be there. All right? Go Cowboys.
I love the hut.